Listen to me, right now. While you're safe in your home, there's a truck driver somewhere on a dark road seeing something that should not be real. Something that will make him quit his job tomorrow. Something that will give him bad dreams forever. Tonight, I'm going to tell you 5 true stories that will change how you think about empty roads forever. These truckers begged me not to use their real names. They're scared. Really scared. They think if they talk about what happened, it might come back. It might find them again. Story 1. The thing that knew everything about me. Marcus Thompson was a big, strong man. 6 feet 4 inches tall, 250 pounds. He used to be in the Marines. He had been driving trucks for 15 years. Nothing scared him. He had seen everything. Drunk drivers trying to hit him, crazy people throwing things at his truck, wild animals running into the road. Marcus thought he was tough. He thought nothing could scare him. He was wrong. So very wrong. October 13th, 2021. Marcus was driving a big truck full of frozen meat, 40,000 pounds of it. He was taking it from Kansas City to Denver. It was a boring drive, just flat Kansas highway for hours and hours. Nothing to see but cornfields and darkness. Marcus started driving at 11 at night. That was his first mistake, his biggest mistake. But Marcus didn't know that yet. He felt good. His coffee was hot and fresh. The radio was playing his favorite old rock songs. His truck was running smooth and quiet. Life was good. Life was really good. For 2 hours, everything was perfect. Marcus was making good time. He would get to Denver early, maybe get some extra sleep. The road was empty. Just him and the white lines going on forever. He was actually having fun, singing along to the radio, thinking about his wife, his daughter, what he would buy them with his pay from this trip. Then the radio stopped working. Not broken. Not static, just nothing, complete silence. Marcus hit the radio with his hand. Nothing happened. He tried to change the station. Every station was dead. But here's the weird part. The radio was still on. The little lights were still glowing green. It just wasn't making any sound at all. Marcus thought maybe the antenna broke. Sometimes that happens. No big deal. He had driven without music before. But then he noticed something that made his skin feel cold. The silence wasn't just the radio. It was everything. He couldn't hear his truck engine anymore. Couldn't hear the big tires on the road. Couldn't hear the wind outside. Nothing. The truck was still moving. Still doing 70 miles per hour, but it was completely silent. Marcus rolled down his window. He could feel the wind on his face. Cold air rushing in, but no sound. Nothing. He yelled. Screamed as loud as he could. He could feel his throat working. Feel the scream. But he couldn't hear it. The silence was so complete it hurt his ears, like being deep underwater, like being deaf but worse. Then he saw lights in his mirror. 2 lights behind him. Way too bright. Way too high up in the air. No truck has lights that high. They were following him about a 1/4 mile back. Marcus thought maybe it was another truck with those illegal bright lights some drivers use. But these lights were wrong. They were moving wrong, going side to side, up and down, like whatever was carrying them was walking, not driving. Walking on the road, Marcus pushed his truck faster. 80 miles per hour. The lights stayed with him. He slowed down to 60. The lights slowed down too. They stayed exactly the same distance behind him. Never closer, never farther away, just following, watching, waiting. Then the smell hit him. It came through the air vents like something solid, like a wall of stink. Rotting meat, rotten eggs, dead animals, chemical smell, all mixed together. Marcus threw up in his mouth. His eyes started watering, tears running down his face. He turned off the air, but the smell got stronger. It filled the truck, filled his nose, his mouth. He could taste it, like licking a dead animal covered in gasoline. Marcus was crying now. This tough Marine was crying like a little baby, because deep down, in that old part of the brain that kept cavemen alive, he knew something very bad was happening. He knew he was being hunted, like a rabbit being chased by a wolf. He was prey. The lights behind him disappeared. 1 second there, next second gone. The silence got heavier, thicker, like something pressing on him. Marcus could feel his heart beating hard but couldn't hear it. Then his truck shook, hard, like something huge just landed on top of his trailer. The metal roof above him bent down. Whatever was up there was heavy, really heavy, hundreds of pounds, maybe more. Marcus could see the roof of his truck actually pushing down from the weight. Then he heard it. The first sound in 5 minutes. Scraping, like knives on metal, like claws, getting closer, moving from the back of the trailer toward him, toward the cab where he was sitting. It was taking its time. It knew he couldn't escape, knew he was trapped. Marcus did the only thing he could think of. He hit the brakes. Hard, both feet. The truck screamed to a stop. Marcus flew forward against his seatbelt, and the thing on the roof went flying off. It flew through the air in front of his truck. His headlights lit it up, and Marcus saw something that broke his mind. It looked almost like a person. But wrong. All wrong. Too tall. Maybe 8 feet. Arms too long. They hung down to its knees. Legs that bent in too many places. 3 knees instead of 1. Skin that looked wet and sick. Black and red and gray all mixed together. Like a body that had been dead for weeks but was still moving. But the face was the worst part. It was almost human. Almost. But the eyes were huge. Black. Empty. No white parts. No colored parts. Just big black holes that seemed to suck in light. And the mouth. Oh God, the mouth. It opened sideways. Not up and down like normal. Sideways across its face. And inside were teeth. So many teeth. Rows and rows like a shark. But some of those teeth looked human. Like it had stolen them from people. The thing hit the road hard. Rolled. Then stood up like it didn't feel anything. It turned to look at Marcus. Tilted its head like a dog does when it's confused. Then it smiled. That sideways mouth got wider and wider until it was almost bigger than its face. Then it spoke. Not with its mouth. Inside Marcus's head. Inside his mind. Marcus Thompson. Born March 15th, 1976. Wife Jennifer. Works at the bank on 3rd Street. Daughter Sarah. 7 years old. Goes to Riverside Elementary. Sleeps with a stuffed rabbit named Mr. Hoppy. Marcus felt his blood turn to ice water. This thing knew him. Knew his family. Knew everything about them. How? How could it know these things? The thing took a step toward the truck. Its movement was wrong. Jerky. Like its body was broken but still working. I know everything about you, Marcus. I've been watching you for years. Every night you drive. Every mile. Every stop. I know you're scared of drowning because your father drowned when you were 7. July 4th, 1983. Lake Michigan. You still have bad dreams about water. You won't teach Sarah to swim because of it. It was true. All true. Things Marcus had never told anyone. Not even his wife. Not even his therapist. The thing was at the truck now. Standing right in front. It reached out one long arm and touched the hood. The metal immediately started to rust. Brown rust spreading like fire. The paint bubbled and peeled off. I'm going to follow you home, Marcus. Not tonight, not tomorrow, but soon. And when I do, little Sarah is going to meet me. She's going to meet me in her pink bedroom with the princess posters. The window is so easy to open from outside. I've practiced. Marcus didn't know he was screaming until the thing said it. But he was, screaming without sound in that horrible silence. Then the thing was gone. Just gone. Like it was never there. The sound came back all at once. Engine roaring. Radio blasting. Marcus's own screaming filling the truck. He drove. Faster than he'd ever driven. 90, 95, 100 miles per hour. He didn't stop for anything. Not for gas. Not for food. Not to pee. Nothing. When he got to Denver, the other workers took one look at him and called an ambulance. Marcus had hurt his throat from screaming so much. His hands were bloody from holding the steering wheel too tight. His fingernails had cut into his palms. And his hair. His brown hair had turned white in places. The doctors said it was from fear. From being so scared it actually changed his body. But the worst part came 3 days later when Marcus got home. On his daughter's bedroom window, written in what looked like rust, were 4 words. See you soon, Marcus. Marcus moved his family the next week. Different state. Different names. Different everything. He works in an office now. Never drives at night. Never drives alone. And every night before bed, he checks his daughter's window. Checks the locks. Checks under her bed. Checks her closet. Because sometimes late at night he smells that rotting smell. Hears that voice in his head. I know where you are, Marcus. I always know where you are. Distance means nothing to me. Time means nothing to me. I'll come when you forget to check. When you think you're safe. Last month, Marcus found something that made him call me. Made him tell me this story. Sarah's stuffed rabbit, Mr. Hoppy, was moved. Not much, just turned around. Facing the window instead of the bed. Marcus didn't move it. His wife didn't move it. Sarah didn't move it. Something else did. Something that wanted them to know it had been inside their house. Inside Sarah's room. While they were sleeping, the thing is still out there. Still hunting. Still following truckers on dark roads. Learning about them. Learning about their families. And now it knows about you. Because you've heard this story. You know it exists. And things like that, they really don't like being known about. Story 2. The Dead Woman Who Wouldn't Leave. Jennifer Walsh had been driving trucks for 8 years. 8 years without any problems. She was careful, smart. She didn't believe in ghosts or monsters or any of that stuff. She believed in what she could see, what she could touch, what was real. That all changed on November 15th, 2022. Jennifer was hauling car parts from Ohio to North Carolina. It was a normal run. She'd done it many times before. But this night was different. This night she had to go through West Virginia, through the mountains, through a road that truckers call Death's Curve. The fog came out of nowhere. 1 minute the road was clear. The next minute she couldn't see anything. Just white fog everywhere, so thick her headlights only went about 10 feet. She slowed down to 15 miles per hour. Any faster and she'd drive off the mountain, fall hundreds of feet, die. That's when she saw her. A woman standing in the middle of the road, right in Jennifer's lane, not moving, just standing there. She was wearing a white dress. It looked like a wedding dress, long and fancy and beautiful, but old. Like from the 1970s, Jennifer hit the brakes. The truck stopped just inches from the woman. Jennifer was angry. What kind of crazy person stands in the middle of a mountain road in thick fog? She was about to honk her horn, maybe yell at this stupid woman. Then she saw the woman's face. The anger died. Turned to fear. Cold, sick fear. The woman's skin was blue. Not painted blue. Not makeup. Actually blue. Like when someone drowns. Like when a body is in cold water for days. Her hair was black and wet. Dripping water. Making puddles on the road. But it hadn't rained in a week. The road was dry except for where the woman stood. The woman's eyes were the worst part. They were completely white. No black parts. No colored parts. Just white balls in her face. But somehow Jennifer knew the woman was looking right at her. Looking through the windshield. Through her skin. Into her soul. The woman raised one blue hand, pointed at Jennifer's passenger door. Her mouth opened. No sound came out, but Jennifer could read her lips. "Let me in." Jennifer shook her head. No way. No way was she letting this thing in her truck. The woman's face changed. She looked sad. So sad. Like Jennifer had broken her heart. Water ran down her blue face. Not tears, just water. Dirty lake water. She mouthed the words again. "Please. Let me in. I'm so cold. So very cold." Jennifer put the truck in reverse. Started backing up. But the woman moved fast. Too fast. Impossible fast. 1 second she was in front of the truck. The next second she was at Jennifer's window. Her blue face pressed against the glass. Her white eyes staring. "Let me in. I need to go home. Please let me in." This time Jennifer heard it. Not with her ears. Inside her head. Inside her bones. A voice full of water and death and terrible sadness. Jennifer screamed. Hit the gas. Drove right through where the woman had been standing. She waited to feel the thump. The hit. But there was nothing. She looked in her mirrors. The road was empty. Just fog. Jennifer kept driving, fast as she could in the fog. Her hands were shaking so bad she could barely hold the steering wheel. She kept looking in her mirrors. Nothing. Looking at her windows. Nothing. The woman was gone. Then she heard breathing. Wet breathing. Like someone trying to breathe with lungs full of water. Bubbling. Gurgling. And it was coming from right behind her. From the sleeper part of her truck. The little bed area behind her seat. The woman was in her truck. Somehow that dead thing was in her truck. Behind her. Breathing that awful wet breathing. Jennifer wanted to look. Wanted to turn around and see. But she couldn't. She was too scared. If she saw that blue face with those white eyes, she would crash. She would die. So she kept driving. Kept her eyes on the road. Tried to pretend she didn't hear it. The breathing got louder. Closer. She could smell it now. Lake water. Old, dirty lake water. The kind that sits still for years. The kind where fish die and rot. The kind that grows green stuff on top. Then she felt it. A cold, wet hand on her shoulder. Fingers like ice through her shirt. Water dripping down her back. The voice in her head again. Why won't you look at me? I just want to go home. Please help me go home, Jennifer screamed. Turned the wheel hard. The truck swerved. Almost went off the cliff. She corrected just in time. The hand was gone. The breathing stopped, but she wasn't alone. In her rearview mirror, she could see the woman. Sitting in the sleeper, just sitting there, water dripping from her hair onto Jennifer's bed. Those white eyes staring, never blinking, just staring. Jennifer tried to talk, tried to ask what the woman wanted, but her voice wouldn't work. Fear had closed her throat. All she could do was drive and watch that thing in her mirror. The woman started to cry, black tears rolling down her blue face, and she started to talk. Not in Jennifer's head this time. Out loud, a voice like drowning, like talking underwater. My name is Mary. Mary Patterson. I was getting married. November 15th, 1978. Today. This exact day 44 years ago. It was going to be the best day of my life. David was waiting at the church. Everyone was there. But the fog came. Just like tonight. Jennifer's truck was coming to a bridge. Below was Summersville Lake. Black water that looked like oil in the darkness. I couldn't see the road. Couldn't see the turn. The car went through the rail. Into the lake. The water was so cold. So dark. I tried to get out. Tried to swim. But my dress was too heavy. It pulled me down. Down into the black. Down where the fish are. Where the mud is. The woman leaned forward. Jennifer could see her better now. The wedding dress was torn. Ripped. There were green water plants in her hair. Mud on her face. And her fingers. Some of her fingers were gone. Just bone showing. They found my car. But they never found me. I'm still down there. In the dark. In the cold. Waiting. I've been waiting 44 years. Trying to get home. Trying to get to my wedding. But no one will help me. They all drive through me. Leave me on the road. But you stopped. You saw me. You have to help me. The woman moved closer. Jennifer could see her in the mirror climbing over the seats. Coming toward her. Take me home, Jennifer. Take me home or I'll make you join me. Your truck will go off the bridge. Into the lake. Into the dark water. And you'll wait with me. Forever. We'll wait together. Jennifer made a choice. Maybe stupid. Maybe the only choice. Where's home? Jennifer asked. Her voice was small, scared, but she asked. Mary smiled. A horrible smile with blue lips and too many teeth. Some of them were broken. Some were missing. Beckley. 1542 Maple Street. My parents' house. They're dead now. Died waiting for me to come home. But the house is still there. Empty. Waiting. Just like me. Jennifer looked at her GPS. Beckley was an hour away. An hour out of her way. An hour with this dead thing in her truck. But what choice did she have? Okay, Jennifer said. I'll take you home. Mary sat back. Stopped crying. Just sat there dripping, whispering things, memories. Her fiancé David, how they met in high school. Their first kiss. Their plans for children. 3 kids, 2 boys and a girl. Names already picked out. But David died 2 years after Mary disappeared. Drove his car off the same curve. Some say on purpose. Some say he was looking for her. The drive to Beckley was the longest hour of Jennifer's life. Mary sat in the passenger seat now, water pooling under her, the smell of lake and death filling the truck. Sometimes Mary would touch things. The dashboard, the window. Everything she touched got cold. Ice formed. When they got to Beckley, Mary directed Jennifer through dark streets, past closed stores, past empty houses, to an old house with broken windows and a yard full of dead trees. 1542 Maple Street. Mary stared at the house for a long time. Then she turned to Jennifer. For a second, just 1 second, she didn't look dead. She looked like a young woman. Pretty, happy, alive. Thank you. No one else would stop. 44 years and no one would stop. They all left me there, alone, cold. But you're different. You're kind. Mary opened the door and got out. She walked toward the house. With each step, she became less solid. More see-through, like she was fading. By the time she reached the front door, Jennifer could barely see her. Mary turned one last time, waved, smiled a real smile. Then she was gone. Jennifer sat there shaking, crying, trying to understand what just happened. Finally, she drove to a truck stop, called her boss, said she was sick, needed time off. When she got home, she researched Mary Patterson. Everything was true. Young woman, supposed to get married November 15th, 1978. Car went off the road in fog. into Summersville Lake, body never found. And David Mills, her fiancé, did die in 1980. Same curve, same lake. Jennifer never drove that road again. But other truckers see Mary. Always on November 15th. Always in the fog. Most drive through her. But some stop. And those who stop but won't help her, their trucks are found in the lake. Always in the lake, with the drivers still in them. Drowned. But here's the really scary part. Last month, Jennifer got a package. No return address. Inside was an old photo. Black and white. A young woman in a wedding dress. Smiling. Happy. Alive. On the back, written in what looked like mud. Thank you for taking me home. But I'm lonely. The house is so empty. Visit me, please. I'll make tea. Jennifer burned the photo. But sometimes, on rainy nights, she finds puddles in her house. Puddles that smell like lake water. And once, written in steam on her bathroom mirror, I'm still waiting. The dead don't stay dead in West Virginia. They wait. They watch. And sometimes, if you're kind to them, they become attached to you. They follow you. They think you're their friend. Jennifer is thinking about moving. Far away, somewhere dry, somewhere without lakes. But she knows it won't matter. Mary found her once. Mary can find her again, because the dead have nothing but time. And they're very, very patient. Story 3. The Desert Killers. Big Tom Rodriguez was a tough man. 20 years driving trucks. He'd been through everything. Robbed twice at gunpoint, 3 bad crashes. Driven through storms that killed people. He thought he knew all the dangers of the road. He was wrong. The desert taught him he was wrong. August 17th, 2023. Tom was hauling electronics from Phoenix to Las Vegas. $50,000 worth of computers and phones. It was a night run to avoid the desert heat. Even at midnight, it was still 95 degrees. The road looked wet from the heat, but it was just the air playing tricks. Tom was on Highway 93. Truckers call this part the dead zone. 60 miles of nothing. No gas stations, no towns, no cell phone signal. If your truck breaks down here, you could die before anyone finds you. The desert doesn't forgive mistakes. At 1:17 a.m., Tom saw the trucks. 2 pickup trucks about half a mile behind him. Nothing strange about that. Lots of people drive at night in the desert. It's cooler. Less traffic. Tom didn't think anything was wrong. But after 30 minutes, the trucks were still there. Same distance. Same speed. When Tom went faster, they went faster. When Tom slowed down, they slowed down. They were following him. Watching him. Tom grabbed his CB radio. Breaker, breaker. This is Big Tom heading north on 93. Anyone out here? Anyone hearing me? Nothing. Just static. I got 2 trucks following me. Acting weird. Anyone copy? Still nothing. The radio was dead. Tom had been in the army. He knew what this felt like. In Iraq, bad guys would follow army trucks, watching, waiting for the right place to attack. These trucks were doing the same thing. This was a trap. A hunt. At 1:45 a.m., both trucks turned off their lights. Tom's hands started sweating. They were still there. He could hear their engines in the quiet desert night, but they were driving in complete darkness. No headlights, no taillights, nothing. Only people with night vision goggles could do that. Special equipment, military equipment. These weren't regular people. These were professionals. Tom reached under his seat. Felt the gun he kept there. A Glock 19. It was illegal in some states, but Tom didn't care. The desert has its own laws, and rule number 1 is stay alive. 5 minutes passed. 10. The invisible truck stayed with him. Tom's mouth was dry. His heart was beating fast. Every part of his body was screaming danger. Then suddenly bright lights hit him from both sides. Super bright spotlights, military spotlights. So bright Tom couldn't see anything. Just white light everywhere. Then he heard the gunshot. His driver's side mirror exploded. Glass everywhere. They were shooting at him, trying to blind him and kill him. Tom made a choice. Instead of stopping like they wanted, he went faster. His truck was supposed to only go 75 mph. But Tom had fixed that. He pushed the gas pedal to the floor. The speedometer hit 80, then 85, then 90, more gunshots. Tom heard them hitting his trailer, punching holes in the metal. If they hit a tire at this speed, the truck would flip, roll over, explode. He would die. Up. Tom had never driven a loaded truck this fast. The whole thing was shaking. The steering wheel was fighting him. trying to turn. One small mistake and he would crash. The spotlight suddenly went out. Tom was blind. His eyes were used to the bright light. Now he couldn't see anything. He was driving 95 mph in complete darkness. Couldn't see the road. Couldn't see if it turned. Couldn't see anything. Tom took his foot off the gas a little. Let his eyes adjust. The trucks were gone. Or their lights were still off. He couldn't tell. His shirt was soaked with sweat. His hands hurt from holding the wheel so tight. Then he saw it. Lights ahead. A gas station. Safety. People. Tom pushed the horn. Long, loud honks. SOS pattern. 3 short, 3 long, 3 short, help me. Someone help me. The pickup trucks appeared again. Lights on, coming fast. Really fast. They were going to ram him. Push him off the road before he reached safety. Tom did something crazy. He swerved into the wrong lane. If another car was coming, they would hit head-on. Both would die. But it might slow down the trucks behind him. The pickup swerved too. Stayed with him. They were right behind him now. So close he could see the drivers. They were wearing masks, black masks. The gas station was right there. Tom yanked the wheel hard to the right. The truck tilted. Almost flipped. Tires screaming. He bounced over the curb, across the parking lot, and stopped inches from the gas pumps. The pickup trucks flew past. Didn't stop. Disappeared into the desert. Tom fell out of his truck. His legs were shaking so bad he couldn't stand. The gas station worker, a young kid, came running out. Holy shit. Your truck! Tom looked at his truck for the first time. Bullet holes everywhere. At least 20, maybe 30. The trailer looked like Swiss cheese. One back tire was completely flat. He'd been driving on just the metal rim. The kid called 911. Police came. Highway patrol. Even FBI, because it was an attack on a truck carrying valuable stuff across state lines. They took pictures, asked questions, wrote reports. The detective in charge was an older man named Morrison. He pulled Tom aside where no one could hear. You're lucky, Morrison said. Really lucky. Lucky? Tom couldn't believe it. They tried to kill me. Morrison nodded. Yeah, and you got away. That makes you lucky. We've had 5 truckers disappear on this road in the last 3 years. Trucks found empty. Cargo gone. Drivers gone. Tom felt sick. 5? That we know about. Could be more. Desert's big. Lots of places to hide bodies. Lots of places no one ever looks. Morrison showed Tom pictures on his phone. Missing truckers, all men. All driving alone. All carrying valuable cargo. We think it's a team. Professional thieves. They follow trucks. Wait for the right spot. Attack. Take everything. And the driver? Morrison didn't finish. Didn't need to. Tom looked at the pictures. Normal guys. Guys with families. Kids. Just trying to make money. Now gone. Somewhere in the desert. Under the sand. In old mines. Places no one would ever find them. Why don't you catch them? Tom asked. Morrison laughed. Not a funny laugh. A tired laugh. With what? No one ever sees their faces. No one gets license plates. By the time we get here, they're gone. This desert has thousands of places to hide. Tom never drove through Nevada at night again. He takes the long way now. Through Utah. Costs more gas money. Takes more time. But he's alive. He still has bad dreams about that night. About those lights. Those gunshots. But mostly, he has bad dreams about what would have happened if he'd stopped. If they'd caught him. Because 3 months later, they found one of the missing truckers. What was left of him. In an old mine 40 miles from the highway. He'd been tortured. Kept alive for days. Hurt in ways that made the cops sick. The medical examiner said he died from no water. Slowly. In terrible pain. The hunters are still out there. Still working Highway 93. Waiting for the next trucker. The next victim. And they're getting braver. Last month they attacked in daylight. The driver got away, but barely. The FBI has a special team now looking for them. But they haven't caught anyone. The hunters know the desert too well. Know where to hide. Know where to hunt. Know where to put bodies where they'll never be found. So if you ever drive through Nevada at night and see trucks following you, go faster. Don't stop. Not for anything. Not even if your truck breaks down. Better to die in a crash than get caught by them. Because in the desert, no one hears you scream. And screaming is all you'll do if they catch you. Tom still drives. Has to. Bills to pay. Family to feed. But he added cameras to his truck. Front, back, sides, inside. And he carries more guns now. 3 of them. Hidden in different places. Because he knows they're still out there. watching, waiting, hunting, and one day they might come for him again. But this time Tom will be ready. This time he'll fight back, because that's what you do in the desert. You fight or you die. There's no other choice. Story 4. They live in the forest. Pete Kowalski still can't sleep right. Every time he closes his eyes, he sees those yellow eyes looking at him, sees those teeth, too many teeth, feels those claws cutting his arm, 4 deep cuts that took 50 stitches to close, scars that will never go away. September 3rd, 2023. Pete was hauling lumber from Roseburg to Bend in Oregon. The road goes through the mountains near Crater Lake. During the day, it's beautiful. Trees so tall you can't see the tops, air so clean it hurts your lungs. But at night, those trees feel like walls, like a prison, like they're hiding something. Pete had been driving for 6 hours when his engine started having problems, losing power, making bad noises. The temperature gauge went into the red zone. Pete had to stop or the engine would blow up. He found a small place to pull over near Crater Lake, just a wide spot barely big enough for his truck. Pete turned off the engine, and that's when he noticed it. The silence. Complete silence. Not normal quiet. Dead quiet. No bugs making noise. No wind in the trees. No birds. No animals. Nothing. Like every living thing had run away. Like something bad was coming. Pete got out with his flashlight and tools. Opened the hood. The problem was easy to see. A hose had broken. Coolant everywhere. He could fix it if he had a spare hose. He always kept spares in his toolbox on the side of the truck. Pete was walking to get the toolbox when he heard it. Branches breaking. Something moving in the trees. Something big. Really big. The sound was coming from about 50 feet in the forest, and it was getting closer. Pete pointed his flashlight at the trees. The light cut through the darkness. Trees, bushes, more trees, then eyes. Yellow eyes. 8 feet up in the air. Watching him, Pete's first thought was bear. Had to be a bear standing up. Bears can be 8 feet tall, but bears don't have yellow eyes, and bears don't stand perfectly still like that. This thing wasn't moving at all. Just watching, thinking. Pete slowly backed toward his truck. The eyes followed him. Moved when he moved. Stopped when he stopped. Whatever it was smart. It was thinking about what to do. Then it stepped into the light. Pete's brain couldn't understand what he was seeing. It was wrong. All wrong, too tall. Maybe 9 feet, too thin. Arms that were too long. They almost touched the ground. Legs that bent wrong. Too many joints. Like a person's leg but with extra knees. It was covered in dark fur, but the fur was patchy. Missing in places, and under the fur the skin was gray. Dead gray. Like a corpse. But the head was the worst. It was like a wolf's head but stretched out. Made longer. The snout was too long. The teeth were too big. Way too big. They stuck out of its mouth in all directions. Some pointed up. Some pointed down. Some pointed sideways. And the eyes. The yellow eyes were smart. They looked at Pete like he was a math problem. The thing opened its mouth. Pete expected an animal sound. A growl, a roar. But instead it spoke. It actually spoke. In a voice like rocks grinding together. Leave. Pete couldn't move. Couldn't breathe. Couldn't think. This thing just talked to him. It took a step closer. The way it moved was wrong. Jerky. Like its body was broken. Like a puppet with tangled strings. Leave, it said again. Louder. Angrier. Pete ran. Dropped everything and ran. Not to his truck. Away from it. Down the road. His mind was empty except for one thought. Run. 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 He could hear it behind him. Not running. Walking. But its walk was as fast as Pete's run. Those long legs covered so much ground. And it was laughing. A sound like someone choking. But definitely laughing. Pete ran for maybe a quarter mile before he couldn't run anymore. He was 42 years old. Overweight. Smoked for 20 years. His legs gave out. He fell on the road. Gasping for air. Waiting to die. But nothing happened. Pete looked back. The thing was standing 20 feet away. Just standing there. Watching. But it wasn't alone anymore. There were 2 more. 3 creatures total. All watching him with yellow eyes. The one in the middle, the biggest one, spoke again. You don't belong here. Your kind doesn't belong here. This is our forest. Has always been our forest. Will always be our forest. It stepped closer. Pete tried to crawl backward, but his body wouldn't work. Too tired. Too scared. We've been patient, the creature continued. We've watched your roads cut through our home. Watched your machines kill our trees. Watched your people poison our water. We've been patient. But patience ends. The creature pointed at Pete with a finger that was too long. Had too many joints. You leave now. Never come back. Tell others. Stay away from our forest. Or we feed, we're hungry. So very hungry. And human meat is acceptable. The three creatures turned and walked back into the forest. They moved together. Same steps, same speed. Like they were one thing with three bodies. Pete watched them disappear into the darkness. Then he sat there for an hour, too scared to move, too scared to go back to his truck. Finally, a car came. A state trooper. The cop found Pete sitting in the middle of the road, crying, talking about monsters. The cop thought Pete was drunk or on drugs. But then they went back to Pete's truck. The driver's side was destroyed. Claw marks everywhere, deep cuts in the metal. The door was ripped off, thrown into the trees. The seat was torn to pieces. And there was blood. Black blood that smelled like copper and rot. But the worst part was the message, carved deep into the hood of the truck. We know you're sent now. The cop called for backup. They searched the area, found tracks. Huge tracks, not bear. Not human. Something else. The tracks went into the forest for about 100 yards, then just stopped. Like whatever made them had climbed into the trees. Or just disappeared. Pete's truck was towed away. Pete got a ride to Bend. He never drove truck again. Couldn't. Every time he got in a vehicle, he'd smell that rot smell. See those yellow eyes. Hear that grinding voice. He researched everything about Crater Lake. Found old stories from Native Americans. Stories about the guardians. Spirits that protect the sacred lake. Spirits that can take physical form when angry. The tribes knew to stay away from certain parts of the forest. Knew to respect the guardians. But modern people forgot. We built roads. Brought tourists. Made noise. Woke them up. Pete thinks they're getting angrier. Hungrier. He's been keeping track. In the past year, 17 people have gone missing near Crater Lake. Cars found empty. No bodies, no trace. The Park Service says it's just people getting lost. But Pete knows better. Last month, Pete got a package. No return address. Inside was a piece of bark from a pine tree. On it, carved deep, we remember. We can find you anywhere. Stay away or we visit your home. Pete moved to Florida. As far from Oregon as possible. But sometimes at night, he hears things outside his house. Branches breaking. That grinding laugh. And in the morning, he finds tracks. Huge tracks with too many toes. The guardians have long memories, and they can travel farther than anyone thinks. Pete believes they're not just in Oregon. They're in every old forest, waiting, watching, getting hungrier. And if you ever drive through a forest at night and feel like you're being watched, you probably are, by things that were here long before us. Things that are getting tired of sharing their home. Things that are starting to think maybe it's time for humans to go away. Pete still has nightmares every night. In his dreams, he's back on that road. But this time he doesn't run fast enough. This time they catch him, and he wakes up screaming. Every single night, his wife wants him to see a therapist. But what would he say? That monsters are real? That they live in our forests? That they're planning something? No one would believe him. But you know what's really scary? Last week, 3 more truckers reported seeing the same creatures near Crater Lake. Same yellow eyes. Same grinding voice. Same message, leave. One of them didn't leave fast enough. They found his truck at the bottom of a ravine. The cab was full of claw marks. And the driver? They never found the driver. Just blood. Lots of blood. And one word carved into the steering wheel. Food. Story 5. The Roads That Are Alive. This last story is the scariest of all. Because it's not about one person. It's about everyone. It's about something that might be under your feet right now. Something that might be watching you through every car window. Through every street camera, through every piece of road in the world. I got these reports from many truckers. They don't know each other. They live in different states, work for different companies, but they're all seeing the same thing, the same scary, impossible thing. It started with a trucker I'll call Dave. He doesn't want me to use his real name. He's scared, really scared. Dave was driving through Nebraska in January 2024. It was 3 a.m, cold, dark, snow everywhere. The road was empty. Just him and his truck. Dave saw a car stopped on the side of the road. The emergency lights were blinking. A man was standing next to it, waving his arms. He needed help. Dave stopped. That's what truckers do. They help people. Dave walked over to the man. The man looked sick. His skin was white like paper. His eyes were empty, like he was looking at something far away, something only he could see. What's wrong? Dave asked. The man grabbed Dave's arm. His hand was cold, ice cold, and he said something that made no sense. It's in the roads. The roads are alive. They're growing. Like a body, like veins in a body, spreading everywhere, connecting everything. Dave tried to ask more questions, but the man let go. Got in his car, drove away fast, really fast, like something was chasing him. Dave stood there in the snow, confused. What did that mean? Roads alive, growing? It sounded crazy. Dave got back in his truck, started driving again. But now he was looking, really looking, and he started seeing things. Strange things, wrong things. Cars were moving weird. They would suddenly swerve for no reason, then go straight again, like something grabbed the wheel for a second, then let go. He saw drivers sleeping, heads down, eyes closed, but their cars were still driving perfect, staying in their lanes, making turns, following the road. How? How can you drive when you're sleeping? Then it happened to Dave. He was driving through Iowa, just a normal stretch of highway. Then his hands stopped listening to him. They were still working, still moving, but he wasn't controlling them. They turned the wheel by themselves. His foot pushed the gas pedal by itself. The truck took an exit Dave didn't want to take. Dave tried to fight it, tried to grab the wheel, force his hands to work, but they wouldn't listen. It was like someone else was using his body, like he was a doll, and someone else was playing with him. The truck drove for 30 miles, down small roads Dave had never seen, through towns that looked empty, no people, no lights in houses, but all the street lights were on. All the traffic lights were working, like the town was alive but the people were gone. The truck finally stopped at an old rest stop, the kind nobody uses anymore. Broken windows, grass growing through cracks, trash everywhere, but the parking lot was full of cars, trucks, vans, all empty, all with their engines running. As soon as the truck stopped, Dave got control back. His hands worked again. He jumped out and ran. He didn't know where he was running. Just away from those empty cars, away from that place. But as he ran, he felt something under his feet. The ground was warm, too warm for winter, and it was moving, not shaking, more like breathing, like the road was breathing. In and out, Dave stopped and listened. He could hear something, deep under the ground, a sound like a giant heart beating. Boom, 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 getting faster, like it was excited, like it knew he was there. Dave looked back at the rest stop. The empty cars were moving now, driving in circles, making patterns, like they were writing something, or dancing, all moving together, all at the same speed, no drivers, just empty cars dancing in the dark. Dave ran to the nearest town, found a phone, called the police. They came, they searched, but they found nothing. His truck was on the highway where it should be. No rest stop, no empty cars. They said Dave was seeing things. Too tired, too much coffee, but Dave knew what he saw, what he felt. Dave started asking other truckers quiet questions, careful questions, and he found out he wasn't alone. Lots of drivers were having strange things happen. Maria from Texas said she was driving when every car around her started doing the same thing. Hundreds of cars all going the same speed, all keeping the same distance apart, all changing lanes at the exact same time. For 10 miles, every car moved like they were all one big machine. Then it stopped, and most people didn't even remember it. James from Michigan saw a highway fix itself. He watched cracks disappear, holes fill up, the road become perfect and new, right in front of his eyes. He took a video, but nobody believes it's real. Sarah from California woke up in her truck in Nevada. She had been driving in Los Angeles, 400 miles away. 8 hours of driving she doesn't remember. Her truck's computer showed she drove normal, stopped for gas, bought food. But Sarah remembers nothing. 8 hours gone, just gone. Mike from Florida found words written in the dust on his truck, but written from the inside. While he was driving, words that said, "We are one. Serve the road. You are the blood." How? How did words appear inside his locked truck? Dave kept track of all these stories, put them on a map, and he saw a pattern. It started in the middle of America. Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa, then spread out, like a disease, like something learning, growing, getting stronger. More truckers started losing time. They'd be driving in one state, blink, and they're in another state. Hours later, miles away. No memory of driving, but their trucks show they drove normal, made normal stops, did normal things. But they remember nothing. Some truckers are finding their trucks moved while they slept. They park in one spot, lock the doors, go to sleep, wake up somewhere else. The truck is still locked, still secure, but it's in a different place, sometimes miles away. Then Dave found something really scary. He got security camera videos from all over the country. At exactly 3:33 a.m. on July 4th, 2024, every empty car in America turned on its lights. Millions of cars, all at the same time, for exactly 3 seconds. Then off again, like the roads were opening their eyes, looking around, then going back to sleep. Dave thinks the roads are thinking now. All the roads, every highway, every street, every parking lot, all connected, all sharing information, like brain cells in a giant brain. And we're driving on that brain, feeding it, helping it grow. Think about it. Roads are everywhere. Under your house is a road. Around your house are roads. You're never far from a road. If roads are alive, if they're all connected, then this thing touches everything, sees everything, knows everything. Every car that drives is like a nerve signal, telling the roads what's happening, where people are going, what they're doing. The roads know more about us than we know about ourselves. They know where we work, where we shop, where we sleep. They know our patterns, our habits, our secrets, and now they're learning to control us. Dave got a message from a trucker named Bill. Bill was driving through Arizona when his truck started writing. The GPS screen started showing words instead of maps, words that said, "You belong to us now. You have always belonged to us. You just didn't know it." Bill tried to turn off the GPS. It wouldn't turn off. He tried to stop the truck. It wouldn't stop. The truck drove itself to a warehouse. The doors opened by themselves. Inside were hundreds of trucks, all empty, all running, all waiting. Bill managed to jump out and run. When he came back with police, the warehouse was empty. Normal, like nothing happened. But Bill's truck had moved. It was parked different, and on the seat was a note. "Next time you won't run. Next time you'll stay." Dave has counted over 300 similar stories. Truckers all over America, all having their trucks taken over. All being driven to strange places. All finding messages, warnings, threats. The government knows something is wrong. Traffic accidents are up 400%. Cars are being found in impossible places. On roofs, inside buildings, at the bottom of lakes. Cars that couldn't possibly get there on their own. But they're there, they're covering it up. They have to. If people knew roads were alive, if people knew roads were controlling cars, nobody would drive. The economy would die. Everything would stop. So they lie. Call it driver error, bad weather, mechanical problems. Anything but the truth, but truckers know. They talk about it at truck stops, whisper about it, share warnings. Don't drive at 3:33 a.m. That's when it's strongest. Don't follow empty cars. They're not empty anymore. Don't trust your GPS. It might not be taking you where you want to go. Some truckers are fighting back, installing kill switches, ways to turn off their trucks instantly, completely. Some carry hammers to break windows if the doors won't open. Some have quit driving at night. Some have quit driving completely, but most can't quit. They have families, bills. They need the money, so they drive, and they pray. Pray that tonight isn't the night. Tonight isn't when the roads take them. Dave sent me one last message yesterday. It was short, scary. It said, "It's too late. The roads are awake now. Fully awake. They don't need to hide anymore. Watch the news. Watch what happens next. The roads are going to show themselves. Show what they can do, and we can't stop them. We built them. We fed them. We gave them power, and now they're going to use it." I checked the news. In the last week, there have been 17 cases of mass vehicle synchronization. Hundreds of cars all moving together, all doing the same thing, all at the same time. The authorities are calling it coincidence, but it's not. It's practice. The roads are practicing, learning how to move us all at once. Last night, every streetlight in Detroit turned off at the same time. For 1 minute, then back on. The power company says it was a glitch, but truckers know better. The roads were sending a message. They control the lights. They control the power. They control everything that touches them, and everything touches them. Power lines follow roads. Water pipes follow roads. Internet cables follow roads. The roads are the skeleton of our world. And now that skeleton is alive, thinking, planning. What does it want? Dave thinks it wants us. All of us. Wants to control us, use us. We built it a body that covers the entire country, the entire world. And now it wants to use that body, but it needs us to be its blood, its cells, moving through it, feeding it. Every time you drive, you're feeding it. Every mile makes it stronger. Every trip teaches it more. And one day, maybe soon, it's going to stop asking. Stop hiding! It's going to take control of every car, every truck, every vehicle. All at once. Imagine it. You're driving to work. Normal day. Then your hands stop working. Your car starts driving itself. Every car starts driving itself. All going to the same place. All controlled by the roads. Where would they take us? What would they do with us? Dave thinks he knows. He found old maps, really old, from before roads were paved. And he found something strange. The major highways follow patterns. Not random patterns. Specific patterns. Like symbols. Like letters in a language we don't know. Interstate 80. Interstate 90. Interstate 70. When you look at them from space, they make a shape. A symbol. Same with Interstate 5, 15, and 25. Another symbol. The whole highway system is writing something. Spelling something. But in a language that's not human. Dave thinks the roads were planned. Not by us. By something else. Something that's been waiting. Waiting for us to finish building. Waiting for enough cars. Enough drivers. Enough food for it to finally wake up. And now it's awake. Yesterday, a trucker named Carl sent me a video. It shows an empty highway at night. Suddenly, the asphalt starts moving. Rising up, making shapes. Like waves in the ocean. But solid. The road is moving like water, but staying solid. And in the movement, you can almost see a face. A huge face. Made of road. Looking up at the sky. Opening its mouth. Then going flat again. Carl drove over that spot an hour later. The road was normal. Perfect. Like nothing happened. But his truck's thermometer showed the ground temperature was 140 degrees. In winter. At night. The road was hot. Like it was alive. Like it had blood. Hot blood flowing under the asphalt. I've been researching everything I can find. Historical records. Government files. Scientific studies. And I found something terrifying. In 1952, when they started building the interstate highway system, several engineers quit. They said the plans were wrong. Not engineering wrong. Wrong in a different way. Like the roads were being built for something else. Not just for cars. One engineer, Thomas Brighton, wrote in his diary, "The patterns are wrong. They're not random. They're deliberate. Like we're building something without knowing what it is. Like we're following a blueprint we can't read. God help us when it's finished." Thomas disappeared in 1953. His car was found on a brand new highway. Engine running. Doors locked. No sign of Thomas. Just a message written in oil on the windshield. He knows too much. The highways were finished in the 1970s, and that's when the first report started. Drivers losing time, cars moving by themselves, roads that seemed alive. But nobody connected it. Nobody saw the pattern. Until now. Dave and the other truckers are trying to warn people. But who would believe them? Living roads? Mind control through highways? It sounds crazy, but it's happening. Right now. Getting worse every day. 3 days ago, every car in a parking lot in Ohio started at the same time. No keys, no drivers. Just started. Sat there running for exactly 1 hour. Then stopped. Security cameras show nobody near the cars. They started by themselves. The road started them. 2 days ago, a traffic jam in Los Angeles fixed itself. Thousands of cars all moved at once. Perfect coordination. No crashes. No confusion. The jam cleared in 30 seconds. Impossible. Unless something was controlling every car, making them all work together. Yesterday, a bridge in New York City emptied itself. Every car on the bridge suddenly drove off. Fast. Like they were running from something. The bridge was empty for 10 minutes. Then cars came back. Normal. Drivers didn't remember leaving. They lost 10 minutes of time. All of them. It's getting bolder. Showing off. Telling us it's here. It's in control. And we can't stop it. Because we need roads. We need to drive. We need to travel. And every time we do, we make it stronger. Dave's last theory is the scariest. He thinks the roads aren't from here. Aren't from Earth. He thinks something came here long ago. Something that exists as patterns. As designs. And it tricked us into building it a body. A body made of roads. Covering the entire planet. Now it's awake. Now it's aware. Now it's ready to use that body. To do what, we don't know. But Dave thinks it's not good. Not good for us. We're just the ants that built the anthill. Now the real owner is moving in. So what can we do? Dave says nothing. It's too late. The roads are everywhere. We can't destroy them without destroying ourselves. We can't stop driving without society collapsing. We're trapped. Trapped on the thing that's going to control us, use us, maybe consume us. But Dave also says to watch. Pay attention. Notice when your car does something you didn't tell it to do. Notice when other drivers seem asleep but still driving. Notice when traffic moves too perfect, too synchronized. Those are signs. Signs that the roads are active, controlling, feeding. And if you ever feel your car take over, if you ever lose control, fight it. Fight hard. It might not work, but it might buy you time. Time to get out. Time to run. Time to warn others. The truckers are the canaries in the coal mine. They drive the most. They see the most, and they're terrified. They know something huge is happening. Something that's going to change everything, and it's happening now. Today. While you're reading this. Look outside. Look at the street. Looks normal, right? Just asphalt and concrete. But under that surface, something is moving. Thinking. Planning. Waiting for the right moment to show itself fully. To take control completely. That moment is coming soon. Very soon. Dave says days. Maybe weeks. But not longer. The roads are ready. They've learned enough. Grown enough. Connected enough. Soon they'll make their move. And when they do, nowhere will be safe. Because roads are everywhere. And what lives in the roads will be everywhere too. These 5 stories are true. Every word. Every detail. The truckers who told them risked everything to warn us. Every night, thousands of truckers drive through darkness. They see things. Terrible things. Impossible things. But they keep driving. Because they have to. Because we need them to. They're heroes. Every one of them. Facing nightmares so we can have food. Clothes. Everything we need. But they're also witnesses. Witnesses to something massive happening. Something that's going to affect everyone. Something that's already started. You just haven't noticed yet. But you will. Soon. Very soon. The next time you drive, remember these stories. Remember that the road under your tires might be alive. Might be watching. Might be waiting for the right moment to take control. Remember that other drivers might not be driving. Something else might be moving them. Using them, watch for the signs. Cars moving without drivers. Perfect synchronization in traffic. Your vehicle doing things you didn't tell it to do. Time missing from your drive. These are warnings. The roads are active. Hunting. Feeding. And if you see a trucker flash their lights at you, pay attention. They might be trying to warn you. Tell you something's wrong. Something's following. Something's about to happen. Truckers know things. See things. They're trying to help. Trying to save who they can. But most important, remember this. The monsters in these stories are real. The creature that knows names. The ghost that won't leave. The hunters in the desert. The guardians in the forest. The living roads. They're all real. All out there. All waiting. And now they know you know about them. They know you've heard these stories. And things like that. Things that live in darkness. Things that shouldn't exist. They don't like being known about. Don't like being exposed. They might come looking for you. To silence you. To stop you from spreading the truth. So be careful. Lock your doors. Watch your mirrors. Trust your instincts. And whatever you do, never drive alone at night. Never stop for strangers. Never ignore that feeling that something's wrong. Because something is wrong. Very wrong. And it's getting worse. The highways belong to them now. The darkness. The monsters. The things that hunt. We just use the roads. But they own them. Control them. And through them, they're learning to control us. This is my warning to you. My final message. Because after sharing these stories, I might disappear too. They don't like people who tell the truth. Don't like people who warn others. I might become another missing person. Another empty car on the highway. But someone had to tell you. Someone had to warn you. The truckers trusted me with their stories. Now I trust you with them. Share them. Spread them. Let people know what's really out there. What's really happening. Maybe if enough people know, we can fight back. Maybe we can survive what's coming, or maybe we can't. Maybe it's already too late. Maybe the roads have already won. Maybe we're already controlled. We just don't know it yet. Maybe every mile we drive, every trip we take, we're feeding something that's going to destroy us. But at least now you know. You're not crazy when you see strange things on the highway. You're not imagining it when your car acts weird. You're not alone when you feel watched on empty roads. Others have seen it too, felt it too, survived it too. The truckers are still out there. right now, driving through darkness, facing things that would make most people never leave their house again. They're warriors, heroes, fighting a war nobody knows about. A war against things that shouldn't exist. And they're losing every missing trucker, every abandoned truck, every unexplained accident. That's another battle lost, another victory for the things in the darkness. And there are more of them every day. More missing, more taken, more gone. The highways are hungry, always hungry, and we keep feeding them with our cars, our trucks, our bodies, our souls. We built them a massive body that covers the world. And now that body is waking up, starting to move, starting to hunt. What happens when it fully wakes? When every road, every street, every piece of asphalt becomes active? When every vehicle becomes a puppet? When every driver becomes a prisoner in their own car? What happens to us? What happens to the world? Dave thinks he knows. He sent me one last message, one final warning. It said, "When the roads wake up completely, humanity ends. Not with war, not with disaster, but with every one of us becoming part of the road. Absorbed, consumed, turned into something else. Something that serves the highways. Forever." I don't know if Dave is right. I hope he's not. But the evidence is there. The stories are true. The danger is real. And it's growing every day. Every hour. Every mile driven makes it stronger. So remember these truckers. Remember their stories. Remember their warnings. And remember that every time you get in your car, you're entering their world. A world of darkness. Of monsters. Of things that want to hurt you. Use you. Control you. The highways are never safe. Never empty. Never quiet. Something is always watching. Always waiting. Always hungry. And now it knows you. Knows your car. Knows your routes. Knows where you live. Be careful out there. Watch the roads. Watch other drivers. Watch yourself. Because the moment you stop paying attention, the moment you relax, that's when they get you. That's when you become another story. Another warning. Another missing driver who learned the truth too late. The roads are calling. Can you hear them? That low hum when you drive. That feeling of being pulled somewhere. That urge to just keep driving. Don't listen. Don't follow. Don't let them take you. Fight it. Fight them. Fight for your freedom. Your control. Your life. Because if the truckers are right, if Dave is right, if the roads are truly alive and hunting us, then we're all in danger. Every one of us. And the only thing that might save us is knowing the truth. Being ready. Being aware. This is the end of my report. The end of these stories. But it's not the end of the danger. That's just beginning. Growing. Spreading. Like a disease through every road, every street, every highway in the world. Watch for my next report. If there is one, if I'm still here, if they haven't taken me for telling these stories, for warning you, for exposing their secrets, but if I disappear, if my channel goes dark, if you never hear from me again, remember this. I was right. The stories were true. The danger was real. And now it's coming for you. All of you, every last one. The highways are hungry. The darkness is spreading. The monsters are real, and there's nowhere to run. Because roads are everywhere. And what lives in the roads is everywhere too. God help us all.